Well, we are in the second round of the winner bracket, the Banshee Cup qualifier number 1. So, first of all, I gotta tell you, the Bathrobe boys is actually not their real name. They signed up with the name Bathrobe and Enjoyers, which is a little bit silly because we already have a team that's called Enjoyers. So I was immediately like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm gonna rename you. You're the Bathrobe boys now. So, hence Bathrobe boys. They're going up against the Enjoyers, who were able to take the Raiders out, which was pretty impressive. A 2-0 as well. Very nicely done by them. And now we are in our next best of 3 series. Starting things off on Alderac Pass. Now, some of you might ask now, Banshee Cup? Ha! What are you talking about, Khaldor? Well, we got a new tournament. Yep, we're delivering here. One tournament after another. Now, we don't have any crazy shenanigans going on with tournament rules just right now. The one rule that we still keep, though, from Meta Madness is that you cannot play a hero more than once within a series. That's not going to impact the meta too much. There's not going to be any pre-bans. We don't have pre-bans for the qualifiers. We don't have pre-bans for the playoffs. And we are not going to use any for the finals either. So it's only you can't play a hero twice. That doesn't impact the meta a whole lot, but it just makes sure that nobody in my audience dies of boredom when they have to watch Genji for the 5th time in a row. So I'm basically thinking about you people here. Outside of that, nothing. But as I already explained a bit earlier, we have a little bit of a twist for you that will come into play for the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to spoil it right now. We're keeping it a secret at this point. Open to people guessing a little bit what they think that twist might be, but I think we have a pretty cool idea how we can make some of the games interesting, how we can also make it fun for the players. So we'll see how it turns out. It's the first time that we're doing this, but just as a little bit of a teaser, there will be a twist in the playoffs. I gotta give also a big shout out to my man Kevin, to Psychiv. He's the one that has been doing the majority of the work here with sponsoring the Heroes International, also with basically all the offline events that you watched in the past 2-3 years. All of that has been made possible by Kevin, and he's also been sponsoring this tournament here. So big shout out to him. And it's also, by the way, why the tournament is called the Banshee Cup. It's a bit of an homage to Kevin being Sylvana's one trick. He has, again, I believe more than 7,000-8,000 games on his main account with Sylvanas, who gets banned again. Absolute disrespect. So, yep, Sylvanas is his favorite hero by far. So Banshee Cup it is. Alright, so bans are in. Abathur gets banned here on Alderac Pass. We have a Junkrat also taken out. And here comes Brightwing and Blaze. Yeah, one of the things actually in the last series, Blaze main tank won a game. I could have seen a Blaze main tank play a little bit more often in the rules of Meta Madness, you know. But boy, oh boy, I did not think that the Enjoyers would do as well as they did with what they picked. So kudos to them. They definitely deserve to be here in this match. And yeah, they've done a great job. Also, new year started, 2024. I'm still mega pleased with how well the Meta Madness 8 was received. If you haven't watched the playoffs matches yet, I would heavily recommend that you jump over to YouTube and check out the playlist. There were some insane games. I believe we had 3 or 4 Butcher games. We had Murky, we had Nova, we pretty much had it all. I think Valera wasn't played, and Probius? I think those were the only 2 that weren't played in the playoffs, but everybody else was played, and it was just absolutely incredible. So if you haven't watched the Meta Madness playoffs yet, again, I can only recommend that you check out the playlist. You're not going to regret it. The games were amazing. They were absolutely amazing. And, well, with the Banshee Cup, we're obviously hoping also for fireworks. Qualifiers, always a bit of a thing here. Also, by the way, you guys can also sign up. We still have qualifiers going on, so everybody can sign up. There's no restrictions here. Even if you just, you know, want to fun around a little bit, you want to play against one of these teams, you can sign up. So if you want to do that, you can either follow me on Twitter or you can hop into Discord. All of the links, if you're watching this on YouTube, are in the description, and we always announce new qualifiers where you have links to sign up and everything on both those platforms. Normally there's also a thread on Reddit, so if you're more of a Reddit guy, then just keep an eye on the Heroes of the Storm subreddit. Everybody can sign up, get a couple of friends together. If you're playing in Heroes Lounge and you have a team, for example, an amateur league or whatnot, you can do that too. The games are played on the European server, but outside of that, anybody can play in them. Sergeant Hammer and Muradin. Alright, it's Hammer time again, and there's a lot of stuns too. Brightwing with a bit of a CC. We got Blaze, we got Murden. So one stun into another, and then Sergeant Hammer just capitalizing on it. This is obviously our new super team. We have the Bathrobe boys with Death Knight, Hazu, Ultralisk, Dino, and Masquerade. So yeah, there's quite a bit of star power over there. On the other hand, we get a side lane Tyrael. Look at that. Diablo, Tyrael, and Hogger. They really embrace their name, don't they? The Storm League enjoyer. This is a Storm League draft and a half there. So, Dino, our final pick for map number 1 in this best of 3 series. Again, in qualifiers, all games are best of 3s with the exception of the grand final, which is a best of 5. Let's go. Aldrich Pass. First map in the best of 3 series between the Enjoyers and the Bathrobe boys. The Bathrobe boys in blue on the left as we're heading into Aldrich Pass Haswops with Blaze, Dino on Sergeant Hammer. Ultralisk finds himself therefore on Malthael. We have Masquerade on Murden, and Death Knight is playing Brightwing. The Enjoyers on the right side of the map with Levical on Rhaegar. We have Alvaros on Tyrael, Ether on Junkrat, Arion is playing Diablo, and Richu on Hogger. They impressed in their first series, going up against the Raiders, but let's be honest, this is obviously a very different beast that they're up against here all of a sudden. Bathrobe boys, they have a lot of star power over here. So we'll see what the blue team can do, but suffice it to say, they are the favorites by a lot. So they are expected to come out swinging and try and take the lead in this series very, very early. If they can pull it off, well, that's obviously a different story, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if they're able to pull that off. But, well, let's see what they can do in the earlier stages. As is, we already have a siege up at the top lane as they're trying to make their play here. Coming quickly in with some damage on that wall. I'm not going too crazy here just yet, but we're definitely going to keep an eye on their performance. There's a 3-man that they're setting up. We have down at the bottom of the map Blaze. We have then also Malthael. So both of the teams are playing with the triple front line. Malthael obviously also trying to exploit the fact that we have a lot of melee heroes on the red team's side. And Tyrael, as expected, in the side lane position and therefore adjusting his build right away, going into the Ardent Restoration on level 1 and going for that. By the way, in the meantime, like, there's a couple of pretty interesting series that have been released on Netflix lately, but has anybody watched Blue Eye Samurai? This thing is getting hyped so much, and I actually watched it. I actually don't know if I watched the last episode. I think it's so overhyped, so I don't know if anybody else has been watching it. I'm not saying it's totally garbage, but people have been talking about it a lot, and oof, Brightwing going down first. And I find it so annoying that the series is so incredibly hyped, because what annoys the hell out of me is that she is pretty much getting attacked non-stop. I mean, she literally gets a knife into her stomach, then all of a sudden her leg gets pretty much like pierced, and then she goes into the next fight. Everything is fine, and then after the fight she's limping again. It's so stupid. I really hate it. I hate the fights completely. I like the graphics, I like the initial story, but what they're doing there, I don't understand why this show is getting so much praise. The story is just, on that end, is just absolute trash. She's totally destroyed, limps into a fight, and in the fight she's like dancing around like not a problem whatsoever. She's beating 10 people up by herself, even though she is basically deadly injured, and then after the fight, oh, now it's time to limp again, you know, because fight's over. I have no idea why this series is praised so much. It had a lot of potential, and I think if they solved that issue, it would have been much better. But injuries have zero consequence on that chick. I don't know why. I really don't know why this is praised so much. Injuries have no consequences whatsoever. If they would have made it that if she just like gets like a sword to the stomach and stuff, she's like, I don't know, she has to like recover a little bit for like a week or a couple of days at least, then I would be alright, fair enough. Week might not be enough, but at least they did something. But I have no idea why everybody is praising this series. It just feels that at some point the hype started and everybody is just like a lemming applauding like a seal. Like, yeah, I kind of know. I don't know, it's dumb. I want to see curious what people think about this, because if you've watched it, let me know. But it's something that tilts me to no end. Injuries, especially severe ones like that, should have consequences. It just feels stupid. So first blood is basically all that we had. Brightwing died. I mean, I'm always happy when the Fruit Fly gets trashed, but, well, with this, we got a bit of a lead for the Enjoyers. I mean, nothing crazy. Tyrael obviously continuing with the build here too. Purge Evil, we got the Divine Vigor. And yeah, in the meantime, down at the bottom of the map, they're still using Sergeant Hammer as best as they can, you know, just moving in a bit, trying to take some of those structures down, and now with level 7 and the mobility that Sergeant Hammer gains, just leveraging that as best as they can. And they're actually doing a lot here. Ether obviously is the only defender, and at least he has a bit of displacement that he can use against Sergeant Hammer, but with Brightwing being around, Sergeant Hammer just tanks these grenades and doesn't care whatsoever. So that's a bit of a freebie on these walls. And all the way up at the top, I mean, a bit of counter damage, not too much. Red team has again suffered more than the blue team. So basically the Bathrobe boys are kind of doing what we expected from them. Brightwing dying, a little bit of a setback, but now they're also going for the objective, so they're literally attacking 3 points at the same time. Bot lane, top lane, and then they go for the objective. So this is already a pretty nice start that they have on the first one. And while the red team has to respond to this, the bot lane is still wide open. And Sergeant Hammer is doing her thing there. So of course gonna get a bit more dangerous, pushing for the actual fort and for the wall. You have to commit a lot further. But up here at the top, they nearly won the first objective. He got super close on that. So, yeah. Nicely done. And this is going to become a problem as the game continues, of course, for the Enjoyers. They have to find something. This is also why it wouldn't shock me in the slightest to see Judgment for Tyrael. I mean, if you go for that build with Tyrael, and most of the time we get a more aggressive style and we get Judgment, you can still play it with Sanctification if the draft or the map demands for it. But in this case, they want to be aggressive. And we have, on level 4, no siege tactics for Sergeant Hammer. It's kind of important in that context. So they went for the regenerative biosteel, which gives some self-sustain, but you are lacking that one cleanse you could use against Judgment. So yeah, Hammer could become more of a target through this. Slight lead for the Bathrobe boys, nothing to write home about. We now have, on the other side, level 10 abilities being locked in. The only one that is still holding is Tyrael, and it is going to be Judgment. I would be shocked if it's anything else, given the way that they're playing this here. Alright, Hogga already poking this out a little bit, and well, that's objective number 1. It is party time! They get the cavalry, and now they can start making their play for the first few structures. And since they've already done the groundwork earlier and destroyed all of the walls, they should be able to at least take one fort out. Would be weird to me if they didn't manage to get at least one. But yeah, Judgment is there. Immediately the bunker. Junkrat in the meantime is down at the bottom of the map. Hazu, he might fall. Oh my god, he gets away. Had to sacrifice the ult, but he gets away. And with them taking down Junkrat at the bot lane, this is obviously going to be the end of the fort. I don't even know why they're spending this much time at this one. I would have just moved straight over to the middle with Sergeant Hammer to try and get 2. But apparently their goal is to drop the wall at the keep. Alright, in that case, bit of a different story. So they're going to be starting to do more work over here. Half a level ahead, and the Bathrobe boys with nice structural damage. I mean, the gate is going to fall. So vision is already granted, that tower is nearly destroyed, and that is a pretty good first objective on this map. And since they also started to damage the fort in the middle, that's not too bad. That's pretty good. For a first objective that hasn't scaled insanely yet, this is solid. Very solid. Now, they are falling back easily to just take the camp again, but at least at this point, the blue team is kind of doing what we expected from them. It's not really a kill-heavy game. We haven't seen too many big fights yet. The problem that the Enjoyers were facing is just trying to deal with Sergeant Hammer, and then the pushes for the objective that we saw from the blue team. So yeah, they're struggling a bit and get currently slightly out macroed. They're not too far behind in experience, and this is something that they did generally do very well with in their first series. They were always diligent on those side lanes and just spreading out their forces to make sure that they catch all of the minion waves, which helped them a lot to not fall behind too heavily. But if they have to sacrifice structures again in order to pull that off, that could come back to bite them butt later on. And this is kind of what we're seeing already. One fort is down, second one is taking some serious damage. And Tyrell is just now moving in from the top. But the teams are both on level 13, so the next talent tier has been reached. And it's again a quick engage against Hazu. So they're not really forcing it too much, they're just trying to force a fight here. Obviously, they don't have too much to follow up on Judgment immediately to get quick kills on this, but they want these fights. But yep, that's a death for Diablo and a nice kill for Malthael as he is able to get the first stacks on his last rites. So, I mean, so far so good. 2 kills to 1. Get the first stack in here, given the fact that it was, I think it was the first time that he actually used it. So, he's 1 for 1. But with the next objective coming up, there's of course going to be another opportunity to maybe pull ahead even harder. And the blue team is really just trying to dodge these fights. I mean, look at the red team. They're diving in with 5, trying to get a gank set up somewhere, trying to just take anyone down. And they tried it with Hazu when he escaped. They tried it with Muradin now, and he also made his way out of the fight. So they are not able to do a whole lot here. They're going to be patient. They're going to try. Let's not forget how in their first series in the Squall of Fire, they were falling farther and farther behind on Dragonshire and always just, you know, held on and then turned the game towards the final 20%, the final fifth of the game. So you shouldn't count them out here. But again, it's obviously a bit challenging right now for them. Masquerade is already on the channel. They're not even interrupting this. That's bad. That's real bad. It's a big lead that's already coming together. Sergeant Hammer being at the top might give the Enjoyers a chance to turn this into a 5 versus 4 with Tyrell moving in. But yeah, they are still getting roughly 30 or 20 seconds here for free. So the grunts over there are gonna take care of that, but that's a solid advantage that they get for fully free. And in the meantime, Sergeant Hammer was able to take down the top fort a little bit in regards to hit points. Okay, 16, half a level away. And now with Junkrat at the top, Sergeant Hammer shows up, and all of a sudden it's a 5 versus 4 in favor of the Bathrobe boys. Judgment! And that's not gonna be enough either. You can piss Sergeant Hammer off a little bit, but I don't think that Alvarez can actually get the kill here. Well, can he? Dino? Alright, Dino's able to get out. Does he have the fountain up? Doesn't seem like it, honestly. And Muradin got caught. Nice double stun. That double stun just saved him. Line him up and hit him hard. That's exactly what Masquerade did. If not for that, could have been a problem. 25,000 damage for Junkrat. Bit of control for the Enjoyers now on the objective. And Sergeant Hammer, Dino doesn't really care too much. Instead, he's moving towards the top, takes the minions out, gets level 16 for the team, and can now either push for the fort or just go down to the bottom of the map to make sure that the red team does not get the objective all that easily. But the fight is in last rites, has not been used yet, so Malthael still has his trump card. But Ultralisk, that doesn't help you if you're dying. So Ultralisk is gone. The Angel of Death is dead. Got deaded real quickly. And Hazorbs is also gonna fall. 3 kills to 2. The Enjoyers get the objective and they get the kills. Guys, I don't know what to say, but they are doing... Enjoyers are not a team where I looked at and was like, yeah, they're gonna make it to the grand final here. They're a team that I'm super happy that they're playing. They can sometimes pull off amazing comps. We've seen great games from them. They had a couple of very surprising ones during Meta Madness too. But they were always a bit of a... I want to say, I mean, again, against the top team, they're a bit of an underdog, but they don't care. They come in, they took the Raiders out, which already was pretty awesome, and now they're making another move against the Bathrobe boys, and that is the new super team, so to say. So, yeah. But they have this problem. I mean, honestly, this is insanely annoying for them. They have huge connection issues. This is now the 3rd time in 2 series that they have problems with somebody dropping. So hopefully this time it's resolved a bit easier. The last time, I believe it was... Okay, I believe it was Richard that actually dropped the last time. And he had some weird problem where he couldn't join the game afterwards. So he had to go for a full restart in order to get back into the game. He made it eventually. But I believe that in the case of Tyrael here, this should happen a bit faster. But as is, let's talk a bit about what's going on here. So we have the cavalry, or the raiders, and right now I mean, it's objective number 2. We are 13 minutes in. They should still be able to get a fair amount of damage done. I mean, that top fort, for example, is going to fall. And then down at the bottom of the map, we're also going to have another one destroyed. So, yes, there are, of course, the forts on the red team side. All of them super low, one already destroyed. But the Enjoyers are going to pull ahead now in structures. They already had an experience. They have half a level over the blue team and 3 kills to 2. So with all of these neat little moves that they're doing here, this could be pretty awesome. I mean, I couldn't believe it in game number 1, honestly, or in the first series of the day when we had the Enjoyers take out the Raiders. But now that I'm looking at this, can you imagine for just a second? I mean, again, I just don't see it, but imagine for a moment if the Enjoyers, after defeating the Raiders, now all of a sudden take out the Bathrobe boys. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely nuts if they somehow could pull that off. We'll see. They're going to get a bit of a lead here. I can only assume that the blue team is going to try and tighten things up a bit to ensure that it's not going to become too much of an issue. It's only the second objective, so yeah. But they're still walking away with 2 forts. One already destroyed at the top, the one at the bottom of the map is gone too, and now they're even moving into the middle as the Raiders still have to be taken out. I don't know if they can destroy this completely, but at least nibble at the hit points a bit. That should be possible for them. So yeah, well done. Pretty cool lead established by them. Well played. And how much further can they go with this? There's a chance now. Even got the gate down at the bottom of the map, so a bit more vision that they have on this too. It would be insane. It would be absolutely insane if this team all of a sudden came in and just absolutely crushed everyone. Also, again, this is the first qualifier out of 6. So for the next 5-6 weeks, we're going to have every Saturday and every Sunday at 3 o'clock Berlin time, 3 o'clock CET. We're going to have the qualifiers live, and of course, as usual, games will be uploaded to YouTube. I'm also going to run the occasional rerun on Twitch for people that weren't able to catch everything live, just as a bit of a side note. But yeah, 6 qualifiers in total. The teams that perform the best will then go to the playoffs, where we're also going to add our little twist that we've come up with to spice things up slightly. But again, in this series, it's all about the question whether or not they can cause an upset. And they already took 1 boss. It was a freebie that they got, and they're rotating down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to make it a double boss play. As long as there's 2 defenders at the top side, they should be able to get this easily. But after taking the fort in the middle, Dino and his team, they're now just going towards the top and they're saying like, hey, you can take these bosses any day, like we don't care. We're just gonna steal your forts, we're gonna blow them away, get those catapults for ourselves, and make sure that we're also getting that passive experience. And just like that, it is actually the blue team that has the structural advantage. So, yeah. 3 kills to 2. And another boss down at the bottom of the map. But you gotta do something with those guys. Now, the objective is coming up again, and we are half a level away from level 20. So, it is time for Storm Talons. There's the opportunity right now. Use those Storm Talons and get the objective. Camps are already up. They're going for the mercenaries first. Siege camp is in, and they will get with 1 more minion wave their Storm Talons. And then they can try and lock this one in. If they get a second set of Raiders, they could aim for the first keep of the game. First and foremost, we get the Angel of Justice, Lord of Terror! Okay, and the Cannonball. Blue team definitely doesn't want to fight this. If you're up against an opponent that has Storm Talons, the only thing that's worse in the game is if you're going up against an opponent that has level 10 and you don't have that yet. So yeah, Storm Talons are pretty big. Pretty huge upgrades, and that's why that objective is more or less guaranteed. Unless the Bathrobe boys play this perfectly now, they should lose this one. It's 16 more seconds. Masquerade is already trying. So they're already trying to control that space a bit, but they're getting pushed back out, and it's only 7 seconds left. This looks like a win on the objective for the Enjoyers. But Masquerade is jumping in. They're trying to make a move here, and the objective is stopped. It's stopped, Hazu. Ah, there it is. They weren't able to do anything about it. Riptire's coming out. Ultralisk is ultra dead. And Hazu Orbs. Hazu has to bunker up as Brightwing gets crushed with a no control. Dino somehow survives. Made it out of the fight. If he died too, that would have been, I don't want to say a finishing blow, but it would have definitely hurt them even more, because a Sergeant Hammer is one of the best tools that they have in their toolkit to defend against what's coming. Why? Why is something like this always happening? Tyrael with a full-on int. I guess he also didn't account for them getting level 20 and Marcel buying back. So Marcel just, well, thank you for the second stack. And now they have to push with 4. Now Brightwing is missing too, so it's a 4 versus 4. But boy, this could have been so much better. Tyrael getting overexcited here. He, honestly, I mean, yeah. At that point, he really just looked like a teenager that has sex for the first time. I mean, let's be honest about it. Way too excited. Way too excited. And you see what happens. No keep this. Well, can they get this one? Oh, yeah. One keep down. All right, I guess at least it was not a complete waste. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, 5 kills to 3. Tyrael back in a second. Yeah, we saw that. Alvaros. Like, seriously, Angel of Justice is a great upgrade, but not if you just go, YOLO, Leroy! My man. No fucks given in that situation. It's just like, well, let's dive in. But they got 1 keep. So now it's on the Bathrobe boys to try and take control back in this game. 5 versus 5, level 20 on both sides. 47,000 damage for Junkrat, 61,000 for Sergeant Hammer, and now they're pushing. So now they're doing their thing in the middle, trying to pressure back. Bosses aren't up yet. Again! Yeah, there's that jump from Alvaros. Alright, this time a bit more patience, also making sure that he had little runes ready, so that he could jump out. So it's not an insta-kill against him either. Basically, they're just exchanging a couple of ults and cooldowns. But the next objective is up. And this one is big, because this is a pretty late game objective that we're getting. And the Bathrobe boys cannot afford to lose it. They can't. They would lose at minimum another keep. The one at the top is super low already. But very likely it would mean the end of the game. I mean, 1 keep gone means we have only 2 armor shields left. And again, you don't want to go for the core if there's 2 armor shields left. It can work, but more often than not, if your opponent still has 2 armor shields on, they're taking it. So normally you want to remove 2 and then you can make a play for it. I honestly think that in all my time casting Heroes of the Storm on Alderac Pass, I can count the number of times where a team successfully pushed for the core on this map when there were still 2 armor shields up. I can count those times at 1 hand. It was definitely not more than 5. Most of the time it backfires, you get wiped, the core heals back up, you find yourself in a shitty spot, and teams have just really learned their lesson and don't want to risk it, so it's really a play for double shield removal. Which is what we essentially should get here as well, because that boss at the top lane is going to take the second shield out. And yeah, that's that. Okay, so it's not going to be a problem for the core itself, but this is already an issue. And the blue team, they want this objective. Is anybody stopping it? It doesn't seem like it, no. If they win this one, that would be great for them. They would buy themselves a little bit of time and have also the chance to take some keeps down themselves. So yes, they lost a lot, but they get the objective. Tyrael is dead, nice. That's a big play. That's a huge opportunity, but Brightwing, the Fruit Fly is able to get out of the battle. Okay, Fruit Fly is able to make it out. Boss over here, yes, attacks the core a little bit, but again, that bad boy is gonna regenerate very quickly. And while all of that is going on, we have now the chance for the Bathrobe boys to not only bring this back, but also deal a huge blow to the Enjoyers. They don't have Tyrael, and that's a 20-minute, 21-minute objective that we're talking about. So yes, this thing is slapping. Absolutely slapping. The timing with which they arrive is a little bit unfortunate. It would be just so much better if they would arrive at the same time so they can hit all 3 keeps at once. But it's just absolutely murdering this thing. It's not going to destroy the middle keep yet, but they should be able to poke this with Sergeant Hammer and take it out, and then down at the bottom of the map you still have Blaze. So the first one is already gone. The second one gets attacked right here, right now. If they can take 2, you know, if they get a kill here, maybe they can even go for core. But 2 keeps should fall, and then it's going to be dead even again between the 2 teams. Alvaros came back with Tyrael, Lord of Terror being used by Diablo. Big judgment again. And the follow-up from Hogger with another stun. A man is out of control here. Trying to go for Ultralisk again, and Ultralisk is again getting murdered. He had his 20, so he bought back immediately. But lots of damage done. They saved the bottom keep. They were able to save the bot lane keep though. This first game is awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm kind of happy that we're also now here on Alterac. It was actually kind of funny. We didn't have Alterac in the map pool for a long time. And the reason for that is actually is kind of interesting. Well, maybe I have to tell that story later, but Judgment comes in. They're going for the boss fight down at the bottom of the map, and again, Last Rites is honestly Tyrael's kryptonite. It's, I think, the 3rd time that he gets killed by that. So, yeah, Ultralisk has a hard-on for Tyrael here. It's coming in time and time again and takes him down. They want to go for the boss, and the blue team would love to destroy that bottom keep and maybe even go for core. Red team has to really think about how they want to play this. But, yeah, the reason why we didn't have Alterac for a long time in tournaments that I was hosting is that at some point my admins thought that I hate Alterac. So they mixed something up. There was some communication problem, because the map that I absolutely loathe, because it's just boring as shit, is Volskaya Foundry. It's such a boring map. It's such a dumb map. It's insane. Your objective is 8 times out of 10 trash. The map is insanely scripted. It's just a snooze fest. I think the only player that I know that actually likes it is Ultralisk. He has a really insane win record on this map too, so of course he likes it. But yeah, so in any tournament that I personally host, you'll never see Volskaya unless they fix it at some point. And it would be so easy to fix it. Even just randomizing the objective would make the map so much better already. But in its current form, it's just absolute trash. And yeah, somehow they thought that I hate Alterac, and that's not really the case. So that's why Alterac was not in the map pool. And then somebody pointed it out and was like, why don't you like that map? And I was like, I have nothing against that map. Bring it. And so yeah, now it's back in the map pool. So yeah, a little bit of miscommunication. Not looking at anybody in here. Rob is trying to blame it on Cross. I don't know who's at fault. Suffice it to say, we have it back in the pool. Judgment! And come on, Riptire! This could be a big one! And Ultralisk is dead again! He's getting murdered. Ultralisk is just getting murdered in this game. He died 4 times. Yes, he's killing Tyrael a lot too. And by the way, Tyrael is gonna have his ult back up in 10 seconds roughly. If they follow them, if they chase them, yeah, they get Hazu, but they also have a hammer problem. They might have a hammer problem. Again, this is... You got the Sergeant down here. Okay, Dino's already spacing out. He needs to get back. 5 versus 3. I cannot believe what's happening. Again, look at this team on the blue side. Like, seriously. Dino and Ultralisk, Hazu, Masquerade, and Death Knight. It's like, what? It's a crazy strong team, and they might actually lose the first map. I mean, it's not a given, don't get me wrong. They still have a chance here. They have a 4 versus 5 right now. The top side boss is about to be taken. I'm not quite sure if they're trying to backdoor a little bit at some point, but if they go up against the boss and the objective, then good luck with that. So, yeah. Diablo is already sniffing them out. Camp is taken. They know what's coming. There's a massive wave at the bottom of the map, by the way. Look at this. Oh, this is gonna hurt for sure. But the fight is happening over here. Boss is at the top. Boss and Raiders. I mean, at this point, if the blue team... I think if the blue team doesn't somehow get a fight, wins it, and goes for core, it's over. How do you defend this? I mean, good luck with that. Good luck defending this. This isn't happening. This is already defending over here. You have the situation there, and now it's a push through the top. Those raiders are super slow, though. I mean, they are sleeping on the job, if you're asking me. They are super slow. They got both held. All three of them got held up. But at least the top one is pushing in quickly. Boss is getting defeated fairly quickly, too. The problem is that the core is falling. And it's falling insanely fast. The Enjoyers, ladies and gentlemen. They might be able to pull it off here. The core is about to fall. Rhaegar is dead. But the Enjoyers, they take the first game and take the lead. GG, well played as the Bathrobe boys lose game number 1.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Well, the Mad Lads have done it! They took the lead. The Enjoyers have taken victory in game number 1 against the Bathrobe boys. That is definitely something I did not have on my bingo board. I mean, damn. Death Knight, Hazu, Masquerade, Dino, and Ultralis, and they just got rolled by the Enjoyers. Rolled is maybe a little bit too strong, but yeah, if you would have asked me, I would have bet enormous amounts of money on the blue team winning the first map and obviously the series. Now, they can still win the series. 2 wins in a row, and they are the ones to move on to the winner bracket final. So let's see if they can pull it off. But yeah, we're going into Battlefield of Eternity, so a double lane map chosen by the Enjoyers. Now, the one thing to point out again is we have 0 pre-bans. That question is coming up a lot. Not for the qualifiers, not for the playoffs, not for the finals. But you can only play hero once within a series. That's all. That doesn't impact the meta too much. It's not too much of an issue. Not a problem whatsoever, but again, it makes sure that we're not seeing the same hero every single game. So, yeah. Also, if you are unaware why the blue team is called the Bathrobe Boys, is literally because of Masquerade. The initial title of the team was Bathrobe and Enjoyers. I have no idea why. At least the second part, but since we already have a team that's called Enjoyers, I just renamed them. So they're going to be the Bathrobe Boys. But Bathrobe is because of Masquerade. He appeared at multiple offline events now in a Bathrobe. I don't know. I think he lost a bet initially. Wasn't that why? Did he lose a bet or something? Or he said at some point, if this and this happens, I'm going to wear a Bathrobe at the offline event. I don't know what exactly the reason was, but yes, so that started it, and then he showed up at multiple offline events in a Bathrobe. He got one from 30k in purple. They made him specifically for him and whatnot, and so right now it's just a Bathrobe meme. So in case that you have not heard that, yeah. We get Vala! Alright, I'm already a fan. Vala and Genji for Battlefield of Eternity. Probably an arrow build for her. You can still play auto attack style, obviously, if you would want to, but normally what we're seeing in Battlefield of Eternity is Monster Hunter. You're trying to chunk down that Immortal quickly, and then over on the left side. Maiev and... Okay, now we're getting serious. Maiev for Ultralis. Yeah, that's awesome. Ultralis didn't... I mean, honestly, on the one hand, I want to say it didn't really look all that good on Malthael. On the other hand, he was the one taking Tyrael down time and time again. But he also died a lot. Had to buy himself back multiple times there, so it was a bit of a rough game for him. We have Urel for Hazu, so really beefy at the front and can have a huge impact on those teamfights too. Inuburak gets banned. That combo with Urel and Inuburak is still pretty sexy, so... Yep. And we have a ban on Uther. The one thing that they're trying to avoid here is an Uther main tank and then a second support, because that would allow Vala very easily to go in an auto attack style and play that as a bit of a hyper carry. But since Uther is now banned, it makes it so much harder for them, because they're essentially going to just play a single support. And yeah, then it gets a little bit rough to keep Vala alive here. Not impossible, I mean, you can still do it. But more likely they want to get arrows. Deckard Cain and Jojo. We're nearly going for a full Diablo team here. Look at that. Genji is ruining the party as usual, but still, we got Deckard, we got Jojo, we got Vala. They could go for a full-on Dibbles team right now. Close. Yeah, and for Masquerade, what do we have at the front line? I'm kind of missing Cho'Gath a little bit. The amount of Cho'Gath that was played in Meta Madness was very amusing, was very fun. But we get Garrosh, and we finally have Sylvanas. Banshee Cup was named after her. So, Dino, let's see what you can do. Sylvanas' win rate in this tournament, or in this qualifier, is right now 0, right? At least in the games that we casted. She was played on Haunted Mines, and I cannot remember whether they won or lost. Did she win? She won, right? No, she lost. And we get Arthurs! Damn! Talk about heroes that I didn't expect. I love the Enjoyers. The Enjoyers, they haven't gotten the memo that they're not playing Meta Madness. They played a Blaze main tank. Now we have them with Arthurs. So, the Enjoyers are definitely more willing to go for a few picks. Maybe not quite outside of the box, but at the edge of the box. And I like it. Game number 2, the Enjoyers against the Bathrobe boys. We didn't get a full Diablo team, but we are getting a full Warcraft team for the Bathrobe boys. Death Knight playing Anduin, Hazops on Urel, Masquerade with Garrosh. We have Dino and Sylvanas. There's a lot of war chiefs over here. I mean, damn. I mean, if we're talking about leaders, whew, there's a lot going on in this game. Ultralisk is playing Maiev. That in itself is already terrifying. And on the right side, with an arrow build, as expected, Ether for the Enjoyers with Vala. The Enjoyers in the lead in this best of 3. We have Arian on Genji, Ritsu on Joanna, Alvarus is playing Arthurs, and Lavakal on Deckard Kane. And Ritsu is pausing the game. So, did they drop again? Yep, Genji is already hearthing, so as per our usual agreement, every single game that we're playing, somebody is dropping on the side of the Enjoyers. Thankfully this time the problem was solved a little bit quicker. Enjoyers have quickly said, yep, the problem is Poland. I have no idea, I mean, I can't remember them having this much of a hard time in Meta Madness. Maybe it's just colder right now and that impacts it somehow. Still pretty sunny and really nice here over in Spain. But some of the temperature checks that I'm getting from friends that I have in the north of Europe are just absolutely annoying. I mean, Finland apparently has -20 during the day, not even during the night. Pretty regularly, where I'm just like, yeah, no, thank you. Very happy here with my 15 to 20 degrees Celsius in Spain. Even when it's cold here, it's nice because it's just sunny and not really cloudy, so yeah. Definitely good choices were made. But anyways, by now we have a quick push. Obviously the blue team has to be a bit aggressive right now. They are now down 1 game in the series. Again. He dropped again! It's Genji once more! Damn, Polish internet sucks! I thought it was the German internet was absolutely trash, but as it seems, the Polish internet is also doing pretty badly. Okay, so let's hope that they're going to get him back in quickly, and let's hope that this problem is going to be fixed with tournaments in the future. If it's really just a bit of a thing caused by temperature, then I assume it will be. But yeah, that is fairly annoying. Also very annoying for both of the teams, obviously. If you're trying to get into the flow of the game and then something like this happens all the time. I guess for the red team, it's even more so annoying because in the worst case scenario, they would have to play with the bot. And you don't want to be in that spot. There were some meme games in the past where the bot turned out to be better than the actual player, but I don't think we're going to see that here. So, yeah. So they are pausing the game. We have Vala again with stacks, puncturing arrow on level 1, already starting off with that. We have Rhyme for Arthurs. He's still a bit of a surprise for me here. He's very tanky, of course, but the problem that he oftentimes has is he just doesn't have an escape tool. So a bit of a gap closer with a Howling Blast, but you need to land that first before you can actually do anything there. So we'll see. It would be incredible if the Enjoyers are making it to the winner bracket final by taking out the Bathrobe boys. And I wanted to talk about this a bit earlier, but in case that it wasn't obvious, we have a winner and a losers bracket. So the Bathrobe boys, if they would lose, no matter who loses here, will drop down into the losers bracket. The team is not automatically out of the tournament or anything like it. The whole way these qualifiers work is actually fairly simple. The deeper into a tournament you get, the better you perform, the more points you accumulate. Those points will be added up for leaderboard, and then at the end of the 6 qualifiers, the teams at the top make it into the playoffs, where, as I already explained, we're also going to add our little twist that we came up with to make the games kind of interesting. So a little bit of a teaser. We got something prepared for you guys. Don't always want to go full meta madness, but we have some other ideas, and in this tournament we are finally able to put them into play. But now that the problem is hopefully solved, at least for this map, for the enjoyers, we are having the second stack for Vala, and the first few camps are now taken too. Still just the early game, a little bit of nibbling with Sylvanas. The blue team was able to take part of the wall out up at the top, so actually very good structural damage early on in this game. But yeah, it's more Somayev that I'm really looking out for. Ultralisk is always an insane beast when he plays that hero. And yeah, I mean, he's destroyed entire teams with this. The enjoyers are also kind of fun in the sense that they sometimes get ahead and then they get too excited. It's just in time. All of a sudden they're just like, alright, let's just make some really stupid decisions and bring our opponent back into it. Maybe, you know, they're just bored. They're getting too far ahead and they're like, ah, guys, we wanna even the score a little bit. Give them a chance to bring it back so that we make this exciting for everybody. But then again, as is, we now have level 4 in for both teams. That's where part of the magic happens with repeating arrow, but it's of course level 7 that you normally are waiting for. And the first objective is mostly unaffected by Vala's build, but after that, that's where it really starts to come into play. So when I saw the Hearth, honestly, for a second I was just like scared that he dropped again, or that somebody else dropped now on the team. But without any mana, yeah, Vala is well advised to just go back quickly and make sure that she can still get a couple of arrows connected. Not a lot of stacks for her. 3 is really nothing at the 3-minute mark. Didn't have a lot of skirmishes where she could pad those stats a bit further. But they're now down at the bottom of the map trying to equalize what the blue team is currently doing to their Immortal, and it's not all that easy. Yeah, Old Man is coming in to hit things with the stick, but they are already falling slightly behind here. Halftime show victory very clearly for the Bathrobe boys. Masquerade then again, without the Indomitable, he would have died. I mean, just look how low he is, even with that. Imagine him just being locked down for just a moment by the Howling Blast. Anduin would have been never in time to go for that trade pull. So, yeah, good dodge here too. But Alvaros is putting pressure on. Gotta give it to Arthas here. Might not have led to a kill yet, but he's putting a lot of pressure on, and it's all of a sudden the blue team that's losing a lot more points on the objective. Now, Hazorps is doing his best to try and deal with that, but now that Genji is saying hello too, Urel has to get out of there very quickly and might actually... Okay, she's able to survive, but if they fully commit to this now, they should be able to win this one. And, well, yes, 700 hit points. It only takes 1 hit point, right? And they got 700. Masquerade this time is pausing. Are you guys kidding me? So who's dropping this time? Nobody's dropping over here. There's nobody dropping over here. At this point, Masquerade is just pausing the game because he feels left out. He feels like the attention is taken away from him. He's French. Just in case you didn't know, he's French. So all the attention has been going over to the red team the entire time. They had 2 pauses already, and then Masquerade was just like, there, yeah, like we lost the objective right now. This is not cool. So at this point, I just want to make sure that I make a bit of a statement. We're going for the tactical pause here, so that Khaldor's talking about us a bit as well. And he can admire my bathrobe a little bit, and then we're going there. So maybe his bathrobe dropped or something, and he was very quickly accused of indecent exposure or something. Actually, in France, that's not even a thing. in France, that's just a Tuesday. Okay, so no kill, by the way. Not a single kill yet, just as a bit of a side note. But it's these Sylvanas pushes that make it very annoying. They move down to the bot lane to defend against the Immortal, and then they were like, hey, nobody here? We got 10 seconds, let's just take the wall out. With level 7, we now also have Monster Hunter. Again, the more stacks Vala now gets on her level 1, the better. But, oh yes, that's a kill. Genji is gone. Okay. and they barely got the wall. So what they accomplished with the Immortal is what the blue team did within a few seconds, thanks to Sylvanas. That's essentially what just happened. Got the first kill too, first blood. Immortal coil build now for Arthur's, with level 7 coming in. So Deathlord is ready too. Level 8, I mean, it's a bit of a leading experience, nothing insane. All the way towards the top, we got Hazu against Alvarez right now. And I definitely have my eye a little bit on Arthur's, because he has some weaknesses, but he's been zoning them away from the Immortal very well during the first objective. If he can do that in the next few, that would be pretty epic. Just control that space a little bit more. Then again, he gets tethered here, and even with the Frozen Tempest, this isn't looking too good for him. Nice move also by Hazu, straight into the wall, so Arthur goes down. He's eliminated. They are rotating top side and hoping to at least stop the push. Maybe even get Sylvanas, but Dino's already rushing out, and yeah, that's 2 kills to 0. The Bathrobe boys a little bit more in the spirit that we expected. Gaining momentum. Immortal is spawning again, and I gotta say, those stacks for Vala are just not amazing. It's not really a whole lot. That's one of the problems that they have right now. But Monster Hunter is making up for most of this. But yeah, a well-stacked Vala on this map can turn the objective into dust within seconds. So Urel is now slowly starting to move towards the top too. But didn't even care. Look at this experience gap. Yeah, that's level 10. Unless they're losing heroes, right now that's going to be a heroic ability. And there's nothing that the Enjoyers can do unless they're willing to fight against heroics. And they would be absolutely suicidal if they would allow for that. That's just not gonna happen. So I guess we're looking at a freebie. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Genji is trying to make his way out. I mean, they're just threatening them wherever they can. We get Light Bomb, we have Warlord's Challenge, Urel obviously, we're as per usual agreement with the Ardent Defender. And here comes Syndra Gosa! Oh, the Light Bomb! They go for the double stun! And Lavakal gets out! No! Deckard Cain goes down faster than Joe Biden walking up a flight of stairs. Ooh, he's dead, but Anduin is dead too. So both of the supports are gone. The Enjoyers are fighting back. They're coming in and they're trying to push them back towards the base. Maybe even get an objective here. Yeah, well done. 3 kills to 1, 11 stacks for Vala. Vala already getting all of her power into play here, and they might win another objective. I'm actually kind of shocked. Not too bad. Talk about things that I didn't expect to happen. That was nicely done. They might lose a hero here, but they won the objective, so that's big. That's actually huge. What about Arthur's? Can he escape? Alvaros? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Deckard Cain is back, but even... Well... counter kill. Maybe Deckard could have saved him here, but no. So, 4 kills to 1. Top side, we have the objective now moving in, so 1 Immortal. This is the second one that they were able to take now. They're doing well on the Immortals. Their problem is just doing a lot with them. Taking structures down. But now that they have him up at the top, they're moving down to the bottom of the map. The idea was to attack on 2 sides, but a really good split from the Bathrobe boys as they're going 3 versus 3. And Deckard Cain gets killed again. Gets absolutely murdered here. So that's 5 kills to 1. The Enjoyers got a single kill in this game. Only one. And that was against Anduin. Didn't run away fast enough. On the objective, they're looking great. They got the draft for it. But the team fights are not going their way right now. As the game continues and the Immortal gets stronger, if they can still go for it, that should help them. But just think about it for a second. They got 2 Immortals already and they haven't taken down a fort yet. So yeah, Sylvanas gets killed at the top. They're going for Urel too, but down at the bottom of the map, they're starting to make their play right there for maybe Ultralis. They want that fort. It's going to be a trade in structures. Topside fort gets destroyed. Alvaros just has to make sure that he doesn't die here. And he actually defends it. he defends it, at least for now. Yeah, but now with the camp coming in with the second minion wave, nobody's rotating over fast enough. I think at this point they already gave up on it. They were instead just deciding to go for the camp topside. There's still a lead in experience for the blue team, but as is, the two teams are dead even in structures. Now we got 13 stacks for Vala. She's still suffering from the same problem. There's not a lot of fights where she can pad her stacks. And in the meantime, of course, it's all about the objective. Every single time that there's an immortal on the map, she has to focus her attention on that instead of trying to go stat padding. We got Gloom in, but with both teams on level 13 talents, at least this time, nobody is trailing in experience. Well, maybe in experience, but not in talents, which is the more important part. So, yep, off we go. With that, we get all the way towards the middle, the first attack happening. They want to go for Genji. The X strikes out and actually escapes. Light bomb. Oh, Ultralisk. With the tether. They got Kane with the ult. Damn, they're trying to save him somehow, but Arion, they cannot keep him alive. Boy, they unleashed everything. I mean, just look at the ult cooldowns for the Bathrobe boys. The blue team has used everything they had on that kill. If they would not have gotten it, that would have been a tiny disaster. But they made it happen again. They were able to take NG down. That means they dominate at least the first part of this fight. Halftime show is in. They got the 50% without anybody fighting back. And, well, with that, here's the next fight. Johanna is gone, so they're staggering deaths right now. Genji comes back, Johanna is dead. They can go for the Immortal again, they can go for the top structure. This is the blue team that we expected to see in this tournament. And they are going in swinging. 7 kills to 2. They have the chance to go for a massive Immortal Shield. This could nearly be 100%. Now Vala is going to attempt to at least get a few arrows connected, and that will chunk it down fairly quickly, but still, I don't think that they're going to be able to win this one. Light bomb again. They got Kane. Yeah, the old man is not going to make it out of this one. It's not happening. No chance. So, with that, we have 8 kills to 2. They are not going to get 100% on the shield, but this is still pretty decent. Yeah, Vala is unleashing everything that she can right now. A kill would go a long way for them. They're hoping to get something, but it's just not happening. So yes, objective is going to be taken. I have to give them some credit though. I mean, guys, look at this. They nearly got the shield down to, what is this, 10%? It's crazy. Like, I expected there to be a 60% shield at a minimum. But instead, they reduced it to 10%, which Vala should be able to defend easily. Just imagine her with more stacks here. She only has 17. She really hadn't had a chance to stack it properly. But they are doing so well with this. I mean, it's obviously not only her. The entire team is really pitching in for these efforts. Their biggest issue in this defense is that they don't have a 16 talent. That's the biggest problem. So, yeah. 8 kills to 2, level 16. It's a big advantage for the blue team as they're coming in now. 29,000 damage for Genji, 25,000 for Sylvanas. But if they can get the keep here, that would be the absolute dream. You would be in such a great position if you get that keep now. They got Kane with the ult, gets immediately interrupted by Sylvanas. Sylvanas instantly interrupted this. And they are pushing this thing down. They're about to drop that keep. There's no level 16. This is a big problem. The keep is gone. That's all that they wanted to do. Bathrobe boys on the retreat already. And, well, that's that. So, job well done. We got level 16 finally for them. And guess what? It's already a bit delayed. Vala has gone into Manticore here. And yeah, next attack, Arian. Okay, they're really chasing them right now. They know that they're a level behind. They know they just lost the keep. They need some wins. They need some W's. So yeah, with that, they're starting to make their play. We got still a level advantage, and the blue team is just doing everything right. They might not win these Immortals by a lot, but this was actually the first one that they got. But they're doing way more with them. Of course, they have Sylvanas. That makes it easier for them. So yeah. Over on the right side, next attack is already coming in. We have down at the bottom of the map the next move with a quick disc being thrown out by Maiev as they're forcing that fight again. Yeah, light bomb. Nice flip from Garrosh. They're trying to go for a kill against Jojo here. She's low and dead.
Very, very dead. That's possibly... yeah, that could decide it. If they get follow-up kills here, they still have a fountain and it's already getting pinged. Basically saying like, guys, move in, tap that baby, and make sure that you are getting that hit points back, get that mana back, and then we get another kill. But they're not able to lock in another one. 9 kills to 2. I mean, in and of itself, already a big W for them. But if they win the objective here, oof, yeah, they're going to be huge. They're going to be absolutely huge. But okay, as is, we now have another play being made. Again, it's a 5 versus 4. It's an absolute desperate situation that the Enjoyers find themselves in. And now... yep, we saw that too. Somebody just got stunned. I think it was Death Knight. Was it Death Knight? I mean, I'm not sure, guys. It would be a shame if somebody recorded that. It would be... oh my god, look at that! Look at that. Somebody did record it. Is it Death Knight? He actually gets stunned. Oh my god. Yeah. Death Knight gets hit. He gets hit hard. And well, this is going to be 100% on the shield. Guys, this might be it right there. So, yeah. 10 kills to 2. And obviously, this is going to be a bot lane immortal. They're already pushing at the top to take the catapults out. Even a bit of possession coming into play for Sylvanas. They don't have a talent advantage. They don't have level 20. I don't think they're going to get it with this push, but I don't think they're going to need it. 100% shield at the 16, 17 minute mark. This is going to hurt. It's definitely not going to be pleasant. And they might end the game here. It's all a question of whether or not they can get a kill. And how quick the defense is. Masquerade is attempting to move in from the side and make a bit of a play for himself there. But yeah, Arthos gets disked. There's the light bomb and Vala is gone. Vala is their best defender and that's that. Nicely done. We have Deckard Kane down, we got Vala down, they got level 20 thanks to the XP boost through those kills. But this is obviously just a little death rattle from the Enjoyers. We're going to game number 3. Game number 3. I mean, I don't want to call it too soon, but there's only 2 heroes defending and it's the 2 tanks. So there's no way that you can actually survive through this. Nicely done by the Bathrobe boys. And this is about what we expected. So, job well done. 13 to 2. They got their storm talents. They just absolutely obliterate the entire team. And this is going to lead us to a third and final game in this best of 3 series between the Bathrobe boys and the Enjoyers. Yeah, job well done. I'm really looking forward to game number 3. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the next map of the series here at the Banshee Cup. Okay, game number 3, Infernal Shrines, our final map, everybody, as we're heading into Infernal. The blue team kind of got their act together. I'm not quite sure why exactly or how exactly they are, or I honestly don't think that they ended in game number 1. If you have Masquerade on the same team as some of these guys, then occasionally it can happen that they're not taking the second game too seriously. You see a couple of troll picks coming in, they're losing it, and then they get the act together. But I never really got the impression that they were trying to do that in game number 1. So, very solid win there from the Enjoyers. And even on the second map, I think they had some opportunities. Towards the end, it kind of fell apart for them, obviously. But let's see what's happening on Inferno. So again, quick reminder, 20 heroes cannot be played because they have been already played. Doesn't impact the meta too much. Impacts it to an extent, obviously. But makes it much, much nicer for the audience. And I want to stress again that we're not going to have pre-bans in this tournament. Not in the qualifiers, not in the playoffs, not in the finals. So, yeah, just in case that you missed this. It's not Meta Madness. So, Banshee Cup qualifier number 1 out of 6. Chromie getting banned. And with Infernal, I mean, Sonya, I believe, is still up. Marthel already got played, so he's not going to be picked here. What about Leoric? I think Leo is still up for grabs as well. So we got a couple of heroes, particularly on the side lane, with decent amount of wave clear that could be played by the 2 teams here very easily. Inuburak gets banned again. I'm just waiting for the moment when we're going to get some variant combos. Could actually happen here. Wah, wah. Poor Leo.
all that hate. Such an awesome hero. And he gets banned. Just feels bad. Bad, okay. So, first pick, Dehaka. I actually forgot about him. Yep, Dehaka in the house. Another hero that was banned very early in Meta Madness, and therefore we haven't really seen him in a while. But he is obviously just a staple on pretty much any map that you're playing, and particularly when you're talking about this one. Mephisto and Stitches. Ah, the Enjoyers. I like it. Get a Stitches right away here. Stitches is always a little bit of a mixed bag, or at least he can be, but just as a side note, it's actually Masquerade playing the main tank role for the Bathrobe boys, and he is somebody that loves to play Stitches. We've seen him play Stitches a lot on Towers of Doom, for example, and we've seen him play the hero on other maps as well, so could also be something where the Enjoyers are just not willing to go up against that, and damn, we get Malfurion and Tracer. So already we have 2 out of the 3 that you would love to go to play, the Holy Trinity for Tracer, just Tyrael missing. That's the only one. But it is Tracer time, so Dino is trying to apply the pressure to Mephisto. Unless Ultralisk at some point is going to swap over. I was just about to say that he's most likely going to play Karrigan, but I guess that hope has already disappeared. Because the Enjoyers just looked at us like, no, thank you very much. We're good here, we're good. We're not going to get this one. Uther gets banned too. We're not going to get him as a main tank, but even as a support with that follow-up stun, nobody really likes him. Uther's getting a lot of hate. Hate that, in my personal opinion, is more deserved, should be more reserved for Anduin. But Uther gets banned a lot more, so yeah. It's because he's like a paladin or something. Nobody likes those guys either. And too righteous, too cocky, a little bit too arrogant. Like, yeah, who wants to play a paladin? Ugh. So yeah. Alexstrasza, we get some Dragon Queen action into the game, and we get Cassia. Okay. So, Dragon Queen. What about Tychus? Tychus, by the way, was probably one of the saddest stories of Meta Madness. Tychus has fallen priorities so much that in Meta Madness, even with, I believe, at times 40 heroes already banned out, nobody wanted to play him. I mean, he saw play, but teams really weren't looking forward to it. Here you could play him with Odin, but we get Kel'Thas instead, and we have Mal'Ganis. And that Kel'Thas follow-up on any stun and slow with a quick gravity lapse, always good. Always fun. So, let's get that in. Totally on board for that. And Alvarus, the final pick on the final map, as the Enjoyers have a chance to take the Bathrobe boys out. So, they need a side laner. Yeah, hello team. I expected Sonya. There she is. Sonya in the house, everyone. Infernal Shrines, final map in the best of 3 series here in the winner bracket. Let's see which team makes it to the winner bracket final. Bathrobe boys against the Enjoyers. Let's go! Game 3, the final map, Death Knight for the blue team on Malfurion, Harzorps on Dehaka, Ultralisk with Kel'Thas, we got Dino and Tracer, and Masquerade playing Mal'Ganis. Over on the right side of the map, the Enjoyers with Arion on Mephisto. We got Ether on Cassia, Alvarus is playing Sonya, Richu with Stitches, and Lavekal. Lost opportunities. I hate it when that happens. Lavekal going for Circle of Life, playing Alexstrasza, and then we don't get hungry for more patchwork creation. Really? Come on, dude. For the memes alone. First of all, I think it's awesome if you have the 2 and you can really stack hungry for more. Second of all, just for the memes itself, it has to be a pick. Those are lost opportunities. It's just wrong. I can't endorse that, honestly. We're gonna dock them a point or something, because it's just not cool. You can't give us hope and then take it away. I didn't even realize that's a possibility until I saw the heroes in the game. But I was just like, dude, come on. That hit point pool would have been spectacular. And then also Devour action. Oh, would have been so good. But yeah. Spray game on point, always happy to see that. Well, it's Masquerade. There's one thing he's good at is that. Oh, damn. Poor Stitches. Gets put to sleep here, gets rooted, gets completely booted. That man had no chance there. I mean, the heavy hit point pool helps him to stay alive, but still, always a bit annoying. So, with that,
what we get is top side. I mean, again, our 1 versus 1. We get the Haka against Sonya. She's going to rotate towards the middle a little bit occasionally as the game continues. Camps are up, and currently it's the blue team that goes for the neutral one at the bottom of the map, trying to give themselves a slight advantage here. And the timing works out perfectly, so they're able to get the neutral camp very easily. Red team, normally very diligent when it comes to mercenary camps, hasn't even taken their own yet. So they were pretty apprehensive here. And Dino is just diving in over and over again. Just double checking here a bit to see what's going on and if anybody is making a move. So you can tell that the Enjoyers are having a lot of respect all of a sudden after game number 2. Yeah, they definitely don't want to take any super early fights against the opponent's team here. Very safe rotation from them. No straight moves from the mid to the top lane. We now get them with the Plate of the Whale. We got the Surge of Vitality. So they're trying to stack Alexstrasza here. They're trying to get some momentum going. But it allows a lot of control for the blue team. And this ends up with them taking all 3 camps at the bottom of the map. So for them, this is a fantastic situation. They were able to do a whole lot with this. 3 camps in their favor. But a nice hook, unfortunately for them, against Tracer. Definitely got the adrenaline of Dino pumping for a moment. But yeah, imagine that being Mal'Ganis or somebody else. That would have been pretty amazing. Easy kill. They're trying to at least get their Shaman camp. The problem is that here in the early game, that comp is just so much stronger, and you can already see it. There's the tongue, the drag from the Haka, and this is the end of Cassia, and they take the camp. Yeah, that is just bad news. As far as starts into a game goes, this is about as bad as it gets for them. That's 3 camps, 4 in total, for the Bathrobe boys. They are already knocking on level 7, which means they have a talent advantage, aka they're going to get the objective for absolutely free. There's no way that the Enjoyers can fight into it. And at the same time, there's still the Shaman camp stopping the minion waves at the top, more pressure on the wall. Boy, oh boy, this is bad. This is a horrific start for the Enjoyers. They played a fantastic game number 1. Game 2 was strong as well, even though they lost it. But now in game number 3, they are struggling a lot. I mean, absolutely struggling. And the problem is also, look at Kel'Thas. Kel'Thas is already getting really good stacks on his level 1, on Mana Addict. Now he gets 2 additional globes right here. So he's sitting at 13 at level 7. 14. He is going to be done with this in no time, which makes him so much harder to kill. If you can delay this until you have level 10, it's always great. But now even the pull on the Punisher has happened a bit too late. They were trying to pull him over early, but it didn't grant vision, so he didn't jump over. So now they are suffering even more damage. Dragon Queen has to be used in order to defend this properly. But despite the fact that they're willing to use Alexstrasza straight, they're losing way too much. Big jump, big stun. Richu pausing again. They're having massive problems with disconnects. I honestly, the one thing that I would love to know, yeah, Mephisto, you see, he disconnected. The one thing that I would really love to know is outside of them disconnecting, if they still have problems with lag when they have everybody in game. If it just simply disconnects, or if it's generally the connection that has a problem right now. It's normally not that bad for them. But whatever it is, I really hope that for tomorrow at least it's going to be fixed. No matter what happens here, they will still be in the tournament. There is a loser bracket for this. But I was about to say the Saboteurs. The Bathrobe boys, they have definitely stepped it up a notch. I mean, they are unleashing everything that we expect from them. They are the favorites to win the tournament. The qualifier. And yeah, it was a bit of a setback when they lost the first map. But right now they're doing fantastic. It's a trap! But nobody's falling for it just now. I mean, not yet, but they're just diving the fort. How cocky can you get? I mean, it works for them. They get another kill, they get closer to level 10. Worked out beautifully. But yep, they're diving on forts. No problem. And that's 3 kills to 0 now. Tranquility is in, they have level 10, so now with heroic abilities they can push this further. Sonya is trying to get a camp at the bottom of the map, and of course trying to get them a bit more experience, because they're trailing by more than a level already, which is just horrifying, considering that we are 5 minutes, 6 minutes into the game. Mid lane fort has been lost. That is already bad enough as is. But it's getting worse. One more globe, and then Khaldor's going to be done with his thingy as well, with his quest. But yeah, it's definitely bad news. And Ultralisk is just throwing out a couple of Phoenixes. I mean, because why not? Oh, Dino. Oh, it would have been amazing if the tower just killed him. He got a bit too cocky there, and then Sonya turned it around. One spear, one slam, and Tracer was nearly dead. And Dino's like, oops! Mephisto can nibble and get some damage. But, yeah. Okay, they're going all out. We get Leap, we get Gorge, and we have Durance of Hate, which immediately missed. I mean, immediately it missed. No chance to do anything with it. Kinda unlucky. If they can get a connect with that, follow up with Stitch's hook. After damage. Get a Gorge in. And kill the target. It's essentially what they need here. They need a few kills. First of all, because they need the experience, but also they need the map control. They need to gain some momentum on the map, and how are you going to do that if not by locking in a couple of kills? So if they can somehow do that, that would be a good start. So far, it really doesn't look like they can. There's Leap again, Malfurion immediately in trouble. Sorry, Khaldor's. So they try to go for Khaldor's here. Cassia is gone in the meantime. And yeah, it is just a rough game for them, isn't it? Another fort destroyed, and this is just absolute dominance from the Bathrobe boys here. They are looking exceptionally good at this point, just making one move after another. Even with these little plays that we're seeing from Mephisto hitting his ult properly, it's just highly unlikely they're going to be able to come back from this. 5 kills to 0, 2-level advantage, 2 forts down, objective taken, another kill coming in as Mephisto gets dropped too. That is a ridiculous lead and a ridiculous dominant performance from the blue team. All the way up at the top. There we get Masquerade now. But yeah, this is just backfiring. The Enjoyers surprised, not only with their convincing victory against the Raiders in the first round of the winner bracket, but also with the map win that they had against the Bathrobe boys in game number 1. But currently, they are struggling to bring this back. Now, we had a few games where they were already struggling, at least at the beginning and in the middle, and then brought it back towards the late game. I just don't see it happening here, because the difference is simply that they're not only losing structures, they're also never in a position to close the experience gap, and that's the one cool thing that they were able to pull off multiple times against other teams previously. Alvaro's is going to get killed here too. Even with Leap, he's not going to have a chance. They were expecting the Leap. They were already setting Masquerade up there. It was such a smart play. I mean, honestly, this was played incredibly smart. They anticipated the Leap, obviously, and what they then did was just simply keep one hero there and just wait for her. Now at the top, nice attempt at a play, but matters are going to fall apart for them. Cassia's gone, they're losing Alexstrasza, they're losing everything here. The Bathrobe boys, they're going through the Enjoyers like hot butter through cheese in game number 3. It's 10 kills to 0. Stitches is the only survivor, and I got news for you, he's not going to make it either. This is going to be a 5-man team wipe as he gets killed as well. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea, I mean, this was the play that I was talking about earlier where they set it up. I mean, look at the position of Masquerade. From the beginning, he was at the top. Sonya leaps right into him. It's the only path that she has to try and escape, and they shut it down, anticipating the leap. Now they're 3 levels ahead. We have them with level 16 against level 13, and yeah, this is just looking spectacular. Fantastic performance here by the blue team. I mean, honestly, this is stellar. This is extremely well done what they're doing here. They're getting so much value. The Haka is still moving from one lane to another. Gets his action together. We're still waiting for the first kill from the Enjoyers. And since they're currently not only a talent down, but also 3 levels, it is highly unlikely that's going to happen anytime soon. If anything, I am surprised that the blue team is not making a move. So, yeah. I would have expected them to push in a little bit more. Oh my god! Gravity Labs and Ultralisk. No fucks given. Coming in and murdering them. Tracer and Khaldor in tandem. They're just absolutely crushing them. 37,000 damage for Tracer alone. They're killing everyone. Alexstrasza is the only survivor. The keep is gone. and now they're moving on to the core. The only problem is really that the death timers are incredibly low because we're only 11 minutes into the game. But it's 15 kills to 0. Look at this. 5 seconds for Stitches and Sonya to come back. I don't know if they can necessarily end the game here. They might be able to pull it off, but the low death timers are definitely a problem if you're trying to pull that off. But yeah, they can go for it. They might lose a hero though. But they're now at 60%. Sonya is dead. 50% on the core. Stitches with a quick gorge trying to make sure that Malfurion dies. And he possibly will. Malf gets out for now. The core is still at 49%. They kill Alexstrasza. They finally lose a hero. Finally the Enjoyers with a kill at least. But obviously it's not going to change the outcome of the game anymore. 17 kills, 2-2, and that is all she wrote. The Bathrobe boys move on to the winner bracket final in the first qualifier for the Banshee Cup. GG, well played.